Oh, so at the end, I'm recording the Shiur. For now, we'll try recording the Amud Yomi Shiur today, see what happens. Samech Aleph Amud Aleph in the bottom of the page is the Mishnah, which we will read again. We'll read the Mishnah again. And before we read the Mishnah, maybe we should look in the Psukim in the Torah. The Psukim in the Torah, I have them written down here. Yeah, written down in the, no, I don't have it. 32:21. Okay. Before we start the Mishnah, which we actually saw yesterday, but let's restart. The Torah says, "Vayomer Moshe alehem, im yavu bnei Gad bnei Reuben itchem es haYarden, kol chalutz lemilchama lifnei Hashem." If bnei Gad bnei Reuben will go with you and across the Jordan as the leading soldiers at the head of the camp lemilchama for the war lifnei Hashem, v'nichbas ha'aretz lifnechem, and then you'll conquer the land. Then they will have the right, the merit to receive Eretz HaGilad. Eretz HaGilad is Transjordan, the land where today is Jordan, and that's what they wanted, and that will be their achuzah. That will be their estate, their asset. Very good. Continues the next pasuk. Pasuk lamed. If they do not cross with you as the pioneering soldiers. Oh, that's important to know. They will have their assets amongst you in Eretz Canaan, in the land of Canaan, meaning in the regular part of Eretz Israel. Okay? That's what the Torah says. If they cross, they'll get their part as they wish, as they want, the part in the land of Gilad. And if they don't, then what happens? Then it'll be ne'echaz. They'll take roots and will have their estate amongst you in the land of Israel, in the land of Canaan, which is the eastern side of the river. You know this phrase, from the river to the sea? Very good. That's what it's about. Says the Mishnah, I really don't welcome, unless it's a very specific technical question.
We split amongst all the whole.
That will be discussed, my friend. There are about 8 different explanations of this question. 4 of them I know. Right, says the Mishnah. Rabbi Meir Omer, says Rabbi Meir, Kol Tnai shenokit nei bnei Gad bnei Reuven, any Tnai which is not like the Tnai of bnei Gad bnei Reuven, Einoi Tnai, is not a Tnai. If you want to make a business deal, and by the way, many Rishonim say this doesn't apply to business, it only applies to Kiddushin or Gitin, just as an aside, but sometimes the Torah is limiting us to how we can apply conditions. Not every condition is good according to the Torah. If you want to have a Torah Kiddushin, which you have to have, or Gitin, which you don't have to have, but if you want, you need to do it al pi Torah. What happens then? Then you have to do it according to the Torah, and your conditions have to be styled the same way that Moshe Rabbeinu had his conditions with the Bnei Gad Bnei Reuven. Otherwise, it's not a Tnai. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen? The Maise will be a Maise without a Tnai. Arat Mekudesh Asli al Menas, and we didn't see all these Bepashtas every time in Kiddushin. I'm not saying this is Ochel Maisa because not everyone agrees to that. Let's say in Kiddushin, if you give me 200 zuz, then you'll be my wife. Right? He didn't say, and if you don't give, you won't be my wife. So it's not following the pattern of the Torah. Then she will be his wife even without 200 zuz. That's l'chorah what we're saying here. You have to always follow the pattern of Moshe Rabbeinu that repeated themselves double. If yes, yes. If no, no. Shenemar, as it says, Vayomer alehem, Moshe told them, Im yavu bnei Gad bnei Reuven, if bnei Gad bnei Reuven will cross, then they'll get their part in the Gilad land. And then it says the next pasuk, as you just saw, you see what? That although logically, I would say, as Tosa says in Amud Beis, logically speaking, I would say that if a person says, if yes, then yes, clearly we can infer that if no, then no, right? And yet here the Torah is mechadish otherwise. The Torah has its own set of values and logic. The Torah says no, even if you say if yes, yes, it does not automatically infer that if no, no, and you have to speak it out. That's Rabbi Meir. You have to speak out both ways. Now, Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel says, no, you do have to say it. Yeah, not that you have to make the double t'nai. Moshe Rabbeinu had to make the t'nai. In other words, the way Rabbi Meir views the whole story, and we will read Rashi, Rabbi Meir views the story as follows. Rabbi Meir says, why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to the whole pasuk Lamed, the whole pasuk Lamed, Im lo yavru, then we'll get a part in Israel. This whole pasuk is redundant, right? If you go with human logic that negative is inferred from the positive, then the whole pasuk is extra. You know, when Moshe Rabbeinu added an entire extra pasuk in the Torah, you know why? To teach me and you and you and you and you and them and her and she, to teach us that whenever we make it night, we have to go double. And a chinami. But other than that, yeah, Bnei Gad, Bnei Reuben were smart enough to understand, even non-verbally, even if he wasn't mentioned, they understood that if yes, yes, then automatically no, no. So why did Moshe have to repeat the pasuk? To teach us the halacha that this is how Tanaim work. Comes Rabbi Chanina and Ben Gamliel, I'm reading again, Rabbi Chanina and Gamliel, no. Moshe Rabbeinu had to tell them that really, if they don't cross, they will get Eretz Canaan. You know why? Because there's the third option. Shilmole Ken, if he wouldn't have said that if they don't cross, they get Eretz Yisrael, the regular part, Yesh b'mashma, I would have thought a third option. Shafil be'Eretz Canaan lo inchalu. I would have said maybe there will be like nomans, and not nomans, but they wouldn't have get nachla. I would have thought, if you cross the river with everybody else, and you pioneers, you're strong, you fight the war against the Shivas Mamim, then I would say you get your lucrative, desired part in Gilad, which was a good land. Gilad was better than Eretz Yisrael. It was a very, very good land and very lush and very exciting and enticing for them. Yeah. Now, having said that, if you don't cross, you will get your part in Eretz Canaan, as opposed to what? As opposed to nothing. Yeah. Had Moshe not specified that pasuk Lamed, I would have said, if you go, you go, and if you don't go, naughty boys, nothing. Why nothing? Rashi will explain, because you show you despise Eretz Yisrael. It's a knas for being naughty people. You're looking for the best piece of land. You're not looking to learn Torah, by the way. You're looking to have more money. And that's why you don't go to the army. You're not going to the army because you're in Koilo, and you're not going to the army because you want more money. That's why. And then what? And then we say, that's what Moshe Rabbeinu had to specify, yes, yes, no, no, to exclude from that. But in case that you only have two options, if you give me 200 zuz mikudeshes, automatically I know without specifying that no 200 zuz, no mikudeshes. Then you don't have to specify. That's a B'chenin Gamliel. Now we have to see Rashi inside. Says the holy Rashi on the Mishnah. Kol tonight, Shen koful ketnai bnei Gad bnei Reuben eno tonight. Says Rashi, v'afel pisholon niskayim tonight niskayimu hadvorim. Oh, even if the Tanai doesn't get fulfilled, the Maisa, the action, takes place and applies. For example, the guy wants money, forget. Unfortunately, that's reality by some people today. And now he's telling a woman, yeah, if you give me 200 zuz, there'll be your get, otherwise no. And he didn't, right? He didn't say, if you don't give me get, then there's no, and if you don't give me 200 zuz, there's no get. And the condition is not the condition. Because you didn't double it up, because you didn't specify, yes, yes, no, no. It's a one-sided condition. Therefore, it's not a t'nai. It's not a t'nai. And then what would be the halacha? Is she divorced or not? Yes, she is. Very good. Even if she didn't give him the money, she didn't give him the money, the 200 zuz, it's a get. Why? Because condition is the chiddush of the Torah. Condition is not a logical, it is a logical idea, and I'm sure Tim McKenzie and Tom McKinley and Chin Chan Chun make a lot of conditions. True. By us, the Torah gave Tnoim a special status, halachic status. It's a din Torah, especially Kiddushin, Gittin, are things beyond our ken. And when you make it Tnai, you have to make it like the Torah. If the Tnai is not a Tnai, high and dry, you're left with what? The Maisa without a Tnai. And she's divorced without giving 200 zuz. Now, how do you know that? What is the source of Rabbi Meir? Says Rashi, because why? Moshe Matzinu, Shehu Tzarech Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom Lichpoil. We see Moshe Rabbeinu found it necessary to double, to explicitly say the other side. And he said, if they don't cross, then they will sit amongst you. Shma mina, I can hear from that. Right? Mashma, that if you don't say, if you don't cross, then you don't get. Mashma, that if you don't cross, you do get. That would be right. Mashma, that if you have to make me the double t'nai, means that it's like an incentive. It's like sometimes people, this is very bad parenting, by the way, but people do it all the time. They say, no, if you tidy your room, you get a sweet. And the child doesn't tidy the room and they still give him a sweet, which is bad. Unfortunately, it happens in many places. But then, Lemaisa, that was the Havamina. If you cross the Jordan, you get your part. And if you don't cross, you also get your part. Why? Because if Moshe has to specify it, mashma, that without the specification, it would happen anyways, right? This is very key sentence. Mashma, we don't believe in the rule of oh, we see that we do not follow the logical rule of we don't say that yes teaches me no. That's what I would say. If is like is lav dafka if. If is a very iffy word. If you fight, you get it, your desired land, and if you don't fight, then you also get it. That's what I would have thought if you don't specify. That's why I had to specify. Now Rashi is coming to tell us two more details that have to do with conditions. It's very important to know. Everything here is a lot of machlokes in between the Rishonim. This time I go with Rashi, a little bit with Ritva. One more condition regarding a condition. One more, prerequisite for a good Tanai to be a good Tanai. And we also need Tanai koidem lamaisa. We also need that the condition will be mentioned before the action, meaning there are two ways to make a condition. If you give me $200, then it will be your get. Or you can say it will be your get if you give me $200. You understand? Which one comes first? Yeah. So here we see Tanai koidem l'maisa. That's halacha. You have to say, if you want to make a good Tanai, you have to say, if you give me 200, you'll be my wife. If you have $1 million in the bank, you'll be my husband. Whatever. Usually, yeah. If I have 200 zuz, then I'll be your husband. It's not so much from the Lashonis of the Mishnahs before. You can ask a question, but that's what Rashi says. Why? Look at Moshe Rabbeinu. He didn't say give them the desired piece of land if they cross. Oh, says Rashi, if you don't use the right lashon, like Moshe did, then the Tanai, remember about dibur mevatel dibur mevatel meiser, Rabbi Yochanan l'shlakish. Oh, we see that a Tanai does not cancel a meiser. If I say this is your kiddushin, snapshot, that's kiddushin. Now you say almenas, too late. Even if it's talking the dibur, chiddush. You have to first say, if you give me 200 zuz, suspense in the air. What will be 200 zuz? Kiddushin, Gelshin, fly to outer space. If you give me 200, then will be Kiddushin. We also know the Binan Hen Koidem Lelav. We also know that the positive, that's a third condition for a good condition. We also know that yes should come before the no. The positive side should come before the negative side, right? He didn't say if they don't cross, don't give them, and if yes, yes. He said if yes, if they cross, they get. If they don't, they don't. So there are three conditions. According to Rashi, it's all debatable here. According to Rashi, there are three conditions for a good condition. One, according to Rabbi Meir, clearly you have to specify both sides. You have to go into the details of yes, yes, no, no. You have to say the Tanai before the Maisa. The condition should be before the application. Yeah. If you give 200, then Kiddushin. And what about the third one? And the third one is a Tanai of what? The third one is that positive before negative. If you give me, you're my wife. Before, if you don't. Don't say, if you don't give me, then you're not my wife. Say, if you give me 200, then you're my wife. That's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel Omar. I'm continuing in Rashi. This Rashi will answer a few questions that you had, Ellen and Shlomo. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel Omar, the following. Atnai kofel l'chude polig. Rabbi Chanina agrees to Rabbi Meir maybe about the other conditions, but regarding the Tnai kofel, the necessity to always mention both sides, yes and no, on that Rabbi Chanina argues. And what does he say? The ein tzorich lichpoil. You don't have to double say yes, yes, no, no. The Michlal hen nishma lav. In other words, Rabbi Chanina says, no, I follow human logic. What is human logic? If I tell you that if so and so, if you tidy your room, you get a sweet. Needless to say, if you don't tidy the room, you don't get a sweet, and that's what it should be. And this is what the Bechanina says. Simple. Excuse me. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu, the biggest novi of them all, why did he double it? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu find it necessary to mention both sides? There was a need to say it. It wasn't automatically derived. It wasn't automatically inferred. Because of a third cause, another cause. If he wouldn't have doubled it, I would have thought. You know what I would have thought, if not for Moshe Rabbeinu being very specific, I would have gone to the third option. What's the third option? Listen now carefully to the extra words of Rashi. If they don't cross like good soldiers, pioneering the camp, even Eretz Canaan, which is in the eastern side of Jordan, show you kotzin bo. What's kotzin? They were what? What? Not kotzin. They despised it. Lakutz, like it says about Mitzrayim, the kotzu. They're kotzin b'nei Israel. Lakutz in something is finding disgusting. Yeah, they rejected. Yeah, what? Yeah, good. Yeah, lakutz b'charav is to want to die. Yeah. Show kotzin bo mipnei mikne Rav Shaloin. You guys, you don't like Eretz Yisrael so much. You don't want Eretz Yisrael. You don't want to go and fight because you want money in Chutz La'aretz. You have a lot of mikne. Afbalo yitlu. You get a punishment. Knas. And even in Eretz Yisrael, you won't get. Where will you get a piece of land? Nowhere. You have to buy your own land from Reuben and Shimon and Yehuda. Go jump, in other words. Yeah. That's what I would have thought. Oh, now comes another point. That's the point of Shlomo yesterday. What would be, before we continue, if Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben would have kept quiet? Let's rewrite history. What would be if there was no Holocaust? What would be if there was no French Revolution? What would be if? Yeah, people like to play these games. What would be if Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben wouldn't have said anything and would go like Tatalach with everybody else? That land of Gilad was conquered very courageously and miraculously by Moshe Rabbeinu, the land of Gilad, right? And therefore, what would be then? That would be given to the Palestinians, to the UN. What would have happened to it if not for them? The answer is quite simple. Everybody would have got in both parts. Yes, because Eretz Gilad is a lush, good piece of land. Really, it's so yummy. So everybody gets a part in Gilad, and everybody would have gotten a part in the eastern side of the Jordan, from the river to the sea. All 12 tribes, except for Levi, you leave that alone. Yet all 11 tribes, or 12, you divide Menashe and Ephraim. Everybody would have gotten in Gilad, and everyone would have gotten in Eretz Canaan. This is just a piece of information you should know before we continue. Okay? Continues Rashi. Oh. So now, that's what I would have learned in the Pasuk. If Moshe wouldn't have repeated the second Pasuk, have added the second Pasuk, I would have said as following. Im Yavru, if they cross, if they're good kids and they pass and they fulfill the condition, they will get the entire part in Eretz Gilad. You understand what's going on here? They would have gotten double portion. They would have given up their land in Gilad, right? And would have gotten double portion they would have given up the land in Canaan. And instead of Canaan, they would get double portion in Gilad. Remember, Canaan is on the eastern side where Israel is today. Gilad is where Jordan is today. They're saying to Moshe, listen, we're giving up on our part in Eretz Yisrael, which is not so exciting, and are getting instead double portion of each tribe in Gilad. That's what they wanted, and they will get it if they behave nicely. But if they don't cross the river, if you don't cross, you'll get 0. That's what I would have thought. Bad kids, because you hate Eretz Yisrael and you're not fighting, and you just want money, and therefore what? You get 0. Lekach piresh. That's why he had to specify and say, Shim lo yavru. he had to specify and say, lo yafsidu chelkam bekach. They wouldn't have missed their part in that. In other words, if they don't cross, they still get the regular part, where a little bit in Eretz Yisrael and a little bit in Gilad. In both parts, they become like a regular tribe. We have to skip the parentheses. V'yitlu kan v'kan al pi hagoyrol. They would get kan v'kan. They would have got in Eretz Yisrael and in Gilad, in Kan and Gilad, by the goyrol. Hashem should give me now siyata d'ishmai. Please daven for Akiva ben Nechoma to get through this nicely for all of you. Frek the Gemara. Shapir Koma le Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel Rabbi Meir. The Gemara's question, classical question, is Shapir Koma. The ball is in the court of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel gave you now a very good claim. A taina. What did he say? Clearly that Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel told Rabbi Meir a good taina. Excuse me, what's going on here? L'choira, if you don't make a double condition, it's not a redundant thing to tell me you always need double condition. You have to give me the other side of the condition to tell me that otherwise they would have got or nothing. Rabbi Meir has a very good answer. Rabbi Meir like this. If you don't think that the words of if they don't cross, then they get so and so knan. If you don't think that it's redundant and it's not, if you don't say like me that it's only coming to teach you Tanai Koful, the extra halacha of the extra Tanai, Lichtov, the Torah should have written, V'im lo yavu v'nechzu b'terchechem, comma, period. It's enough to write, look in the Chumash please, Im lo yavu chalutzim itchem v'nechzu b'terchechem. If they don't cross with you, they should take their state within you. Where do people live? In Uganda? In the Philippines? Of course in Eretz Canaan. Be'eretz Canaan, inverted commas, quotation marks, Be'eretz Canaan, in the words Be'eretz Canaan, Lama li. Why is it that I write Be'eretz Canaan? Yeah? Be'eretz Canaan, Lama li. Why do you have to write the words Eretz Canaan? Of course it's in Eretz Canaan, right? Shma minolit na kofelu de oso. It's coming to tell me Tanai Koful, yeah? Which means, in other words, I would have already known, you're telling me there's a third option, they get nothing. No, that third option was already taken care of in the words, Nochzu b'seichechem. They'll get an estate. The fact that they get an estate, which you're so scared of, Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, that we have to rule out the idea of them getting nothing. No, it says nechdu b'sechechem. They will have an achuza. So I know that already. So why do you still write Be'eretz Canaan? You know why Be'eretz Canaan? To tell me that if they don't do the job, and that's extra because I know that already. I already know that what? That if they cross, they get their part. That's for sure. What about the negative side? That's a sensitive part over here. Why did you have to say if no, no? Yes, because he has to say, he's saying two things. If they don't get, they get their piece. I know that. And they will get in Eretz Canaan and not in Gilad. That's extra. That's the extra words. Why do you have to say that if they don't cross, they get Eretz Canaan and not Gilad? I know that already. Had I thought like you, that I go with human logic and whatever is yes infers the no, then the words Eretz Canaan are redundant. You want to tell me that you have to outsmart, you have to rule out the idea of them not getting anything? That I already took off. I took care of that already. I wrote v'nechzu b'sechechem. Achuzah means you have an estate. You're not a homeless vagabond. You have where to be. So Mimena, the words Eretz Canaan is coming to tell me extra words that are redundant, Kilu, to teach me halacha that you always have to double your condition. That's 100% clear, and that's Rabbi Meir. The ball now is in the court of Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, Baruch. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. The Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel Omar, Iloi kosa v'chmona be'eretz Canaan, says Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, no. The words Eretz Canaan are not redundant. Why? Because had you only written, if you didn't write Eretz Canaan, I would have still made another mistake. Guys, there's a fourth option. How many options are there up until now? Are you cheshboning? Before we continue, we have to realize that so far we saw three options. Option number one, had everything else be clear without Gad, Bnei Reuben, without his whole headache, what would have been? Each tribe, Gad, Reuben, Binyamin, Zvulun, grandmother. All the Shvatim get a part in Gilad and a part in Canaan. It's all at the end of the day conquered by the Jews, right? That's option number one. They don't want that, but they may fall back into that. Option number two, Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben get what they want. And if they fight, they get only in Gilad double and nothing in Eretz Yisrael, right? The third option would be, that's what Bechinim Gamliel was concerned, nothing, you guys are so bad. You didn't fight, you didn't do anything, oy vavoy, and you're just sitting there in half Chutz La'aretz, in a place less Kodesh and more lush and nice with big houses. You get nothing in Eretz Yisrael and nothing in Gilad. You won't get Nachla, you'll have to buy off the other Shvatim whenever you want to live. But there's the fourth option. There's the fourth option, which, and only four, don't worry, the only four options. Now Bechinim Gamliel is coming to tell you, Rabbi Meir, you're telling me that the word Eretz Canaan are extra? The word Eretz Canaan are extra? They're not extra. I'll show you what would have happened if you don't say Eretz Canaan. Look at this. Look at the Gemara now. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel says, Iloi kosav achmona be'eretz Canaan hava mina, I would have thought, v'nechzu b'sochechem be'eretz Gilad, aval eretz Canaan klal loi. I would have thought as following. If I would have just had the words Canaan without Eretz Gilad, the nechzu, without Eretz Canaan, I would have thought, you know what you guys are going to get? The fourth option. Fourth option, listen to me now. You get your portion proportionally as a 12th of the nation only in Gilad, no double portion in Gilad, and nothing in Eretz Yisrael. In other words, had you write nechzu, what does nechzu mean? You have a nechuza. You guys love that Gilad land, that lush green land so much. Okay, you get a regular portion there if you don't fight. If you don't fight, you get a regular portion of a regular tribe in Gilad, not a double one, and in Eretz Yisrael, nothing, meaning you're losing. In other words, it's true that I agree with you, my colleague Rabbi Meir, that nechzu b'secheche means you get something, but how much? How much do you get? That I wouldn't have known. That's why he has to tell me that if they don't do their bit, they're going to what? That if you do fight, you get in a double portion in one, and if lo yavru, you get only a little bit in the Gilad. Why? Says Rashi. Rashi is adding a beautiful point, because Eretz Gilad they deserve. Why? Because they also help to conquer it. Rashi says, Nechaztem bakvar, v'msiu eschem lekovsho. People fought together in Gilad. That war you fought, so you deserve. But how much? I still counsel you, you bad kids, because Lamas, you're not fighting weiter. In Eretz Canaan, 0. And only in Gilad, you get half. That's why we have to say Eretz Canaan. That's why I have to say, V'nechzu b'seichechem, they get something. You know how much? Nechzu b'seichechem in where? In Gilad. Eretz Canaan, you'd also get part in Canaan. But Lamaisa, everything is necessary. Guys, as I'm talking, I realize how simple that is. Again, it's really much simpler than I thought myself. With your help, Baruch Hashem, Hashem is helping me, I get this much better. I'll summarize, you'll see how easy it is. According to Rabbi Meir, I'm repeating again, if you didn't copy it the first time, you'll surely get it now. According to the whole view, their worldview on the Pasuk, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Chanina is opposite. Rabbi Meir believes that there are some extra words in the Pasuk, yeah? Those extra words are coming to teach me, yeah, that you need a double t'nai. If yes, yes, if no, no. Always, even if it's self-explanatory. That's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Chanina says no. I can fill each and every part of the Pasuk with information. And therefore, says Rabbi Meir, if you don't fight like good soldiers, then what happens? Then you get a part of the land, but Beretz Canaan. Why do you have to say Beretz Canaan? Of course, Beretz Canaan and not in Iceland. You know the words Eretz Canaan are there to teach me the extra halacha that you need an extra words of the yes, yes, no, no. In Michlal Heniyat Shemelav. Says Rabbi Chaim Gamliel, no. I can feel. I don't know if you got my chart yesterday. I highly recommend you open it and look at it because it's a chart with a lot of machshava. Says Rabbi Chanina Gamliel, no. Each and every part of the pasuk is teaching you something. If you cross like you want, like you wish, what will you get? Double portion in Gilad and nothing in Canaan. That's what they want. If you don't cross, we have two pieces of information, all necessary. A, you won't be homeless. What do you mean you won't be homeless? You'll get a part. Where will be your part? Only in Gilad. There you have a little bit of rights. Miluimnikim. You worked there when you were in the army, then you actually fought in Gilad. You'll get a regular smaller portion there, nothing in Canaan. Comes the turn, tells me, no, there it's Canaan also. If you don't fight, I'll be nice to you, and I will go back to square one, to the original idea of each and every tribe, both Reuben, Gad, and others, getting a bit here and a bit there. But every word is necessary, according to Rabbi Meir and to Rabbi Chanina Gamliel. And therefore, there is no information here of Michlal Hen Yata Shomei Alav, only because they have so many options. But if I'm a man standing under the huppeh with my kala, and I say, if you give me 200, if I give you 200 zuz, haret mekudeshes li, clearly I don't have to add anything else. If no 200 zuz, you're not mekudeshes, that's Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel. Now, one more move, and then we finish with this part of the sugya. Rabbi Meir, what would Rabbi Meir answer to Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel? Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel just proved, with fire and water, that Rabbi Chanina just proved that you need extra words b'sechochem and Eretz Canaan to tell me that get both in the east and in the west. Says Rabbi Meir, no, b'sechochem kolecha de'islachu mashma. Says Rabbi Meir, brilliant. The word v'nechzu betoichachem. What does betoichachem mean, guys? Amongst you, within you. It's coming to tell me, very good, Yitzchak. It's coming to tell me that they will get a part wherever you guys get. So the word betoichachem alone, without Eretz Canaan, already teaches me both east and west you get regular part, like everybody else, like the original plan. So again, the word Eretz Canaan is extra. You know it's extra? Aha! Teach me that. It's an extra word to teach me the halacha that Michlal Hen Yata Shomei Alav. And even if you say yes, you don't automatically infer the no. Baruch Hashem. I'm clapping, I'm applauding you people for helping me. And Baruch Hashem, it's much clearer now. Unless you have specific questions, I'm okay with that. If not, we will see another brisa now that will explain it even better. The following brisa is there as a mashal, to explain what we just learned. Tanya, Amar Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel b'siyata d'ishmaya says, gives a mashal. Mashal Amud over doimen. Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, which said what? That Michlal Hein Atat Shomei Alav. If you say yes, you hear the no automatically, right? Gives you a mashal. Mashal Amud over doimen. La'odem shor mechalek nechosav lebonov. A person before his death is giving out his assets to his children. Halachically, you're allowed to do that according to some people. People do it all the time. You play around with the Yerusha. Some kids you like more, some kids you like less. I'm not saying it's educational or not. The Gemara does discuss it there in Kuflem at Gimel Amud Beis. Even if kid is off the derech, you should still give him an achla, it says. So now, a person is giving different plots of land to his children. Omar, the guy has 3 children. We'll give them very, very original names, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. The person is now mechalek the karka to 3 people. Reuven will get 1 field. Shimon, the second son, gets another ploini. Levi, the third son, Yitan Masayim Zuz. He should give his brothers 200 Zuz. And then he will get the 3rd field. What is this favoritism? Says the Ritva that, I think it's a Ritva, he says there was a better field. He wants to get that coveted field, that very lush, green, amazing field with a gold mine inside and I don't know what, building potential. They're going to build a whole airport over there. He should give 200 zuz to the brothers and then he'll get it on condition. And if he doesn't give the 200, what would happen, says the Tate? Then he'll get normal in the rest of the nechosim, meaning he'll get a little bit here and a little bit there. If he doesn't give, then everything else falls into then he'll get Yerusha they all get share and share alike. He'll get with everybody else in the rest of the nechosim, and he will not get any extra in this field. Everything will be normal. Mi goram lo, it continues lo b'chinan Gamliel. Mi goram lo lira shim echo b'shar nechosim. What makes him inherit with the brothers in the rest of the nechosim? Shtei goram lo. Oh, because he was koifel. Because why? He actually doubled the condition, the father, right? You see here too that otherwise they would have gotten everything. In other words, this is a Ben Gamliel talking obviously to prove, to not even to prove, to manifest his own idea. And it says, you know why that brother got anything? Only because what? Only because the father said, if you don't give the 200, then you will still get the share and share alike. If the father wouldn't have said it, I would have thought they would get 0. Oh, you see my point. Why did the father have to specify both ends of the stick? Because the father is telling me that there was a half a minute to say that this son, because he's so greedy, the son is, I think that's the reason, he's so into greed and wanting the big field and expense of everybody else, he says to the father, hey, I deserve the third field, yeah? He wants the big field, the nicest field. Why? Why do you deserve it? If you give money, yes, and if you don't give money, I'm so upset with you, you'll get 0. So you see, I'm right. Says not that he's proving his point. He's making the Moshe himself. He's showing, is exemplifying, and showing his idea that yes, and automatically no. But when there's the third option of getting 0, then you have to specify and say even if you don't give the 100, then you're okay. Then you treat it normal, exactly like Gad and Reuben. If you cross, get a good piece of land, that beautiful Jordanian the lush fields over there. But if you don't pay, then what? Okay, no hard feelings, no pain, no gain. You get like everybody else, a little bit here, a little bit there. Very nice. Baruch Hashem. The Gemara, there's still a bit of a tweak over here. The Gemara, your moshel is not like the Mishnah. Why? Hosam Ktani, over there it says yesh. There in the Mishnah, the mashma shafilu beretz Knan lo inchelu. There it's mashma that even in the land of Knan, they're not supposed to get. Alma kfelo eretz Gilad nami mehani. Yeah, over there, yeah, in the Mishnah, I would have said that they get 0, not over here and not over there, right? They wouldn't have gotten anything, yeah? And therefore, Masha'enken over here, it's mashma, like we said, in the Mishnah, nothing, right? You would have gotten anything. If you're so greedy, you're not doing anything, you're not moving off your thing, nothing. That was an option. The hocha, however, if you listen carefully to the words of the Brisa, hocha ktani migom lalira shimechov b'shar nechosim. Oh, b'shar nechosim in the rest of the lands. Kfela goram loy. Alma kfela l'shar nechosum dekemahani, and not for the land itself. Let me explain the question which the Ritva explains. From the words of the Brisa, it sounds like, you know what made him get parts in the other lands? When the father specifically said, you'll get in the other lands. But it's mashma that in his land, Reuben got 1 field, Shimon 2nd field. The 3rd field, what happens to the 3rd field? It's mashma for the Loshen that he won't be homeless. It's mashma, you know how he's getting in Reuben and Shimon's fields? Because the father specified. Mashma, the father kept shtum, he wouldn't be homeless. He would have gotten a part in his land that he wants. He's still a son. He still deserves something. At least he deserves a 3rd of that field, not being homeless. So it's mashma over there. I repeat. In the Mishnah, Gamliel said there was nothing. You guys, chutzpah sitting there in chutzah with your big fat cows and you're not fighting. 0. Mashenkin here, it didn't sound so sharp. He said, you know what would have happened with the other side without specifying the other side of the coin? That he would have gotten in his land, in the 3rd land, would have gotten a 3rd at least. Something would have gotten, not 0. It's not like in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah, worst scenario is 0, and here the worst scenario is 1 part of that 3rd good land. Answers the Gemara, very good. Lo kasha. If you notice, in the previous discussion, Rabbi Chanina was partially convinced by Rabbi Meir. Mikami denem ale Rabbi Meir v'nechzu. Leboso denem ale Rabbi Meir v'nechzu. End of story. Very, very good. If you noticed, if you follow the sugya, Rabbi Meir already proved to Rabbi Chanim Gamliel that there is no option of zero. Why? Because what did Moshe Rabbeinu say? The nechzu. Even if they don't fight, they get an achuza. The question is where and how much. But some achuza for sure they get. And now in the mashal, when Rabbi Chanina speaks, was convinced by him. Remember? Now it's good chazor to what we said before. Rabbi Chanim Gamliel says, yes, I know. It's true. What I said in the Mishnah, I regret. It's not that would have gotten zero, it would be like no man's, like vagabonds going from here to there. But I would have said that they would have only gotten a small share in Gilad. That's exactly the mashal. If Levi greedy would have not give 200 zuz, he would have gotten nothing in Reuben and Shimon's, and he would get proportional, a third or so, in the super duper land. That's what would have been without the double t'nai. Comes a double t'nai and says, no, if you don't give 200 zuz, you get something everywhere. Now it's going to be much, much, much easier, because now we're going to basically make a nice Google tour of the Torah, all kinds of conditions that are mentioned in the Torah, and see how it works according to Rabbi Meir and according to Rabbi Chanim Gamliel. Let me pause a second. This picture. Rabbi Meir. Yeah. Yeah, you can ask questions now. Okay, quick. Yeah. Yeah, from the Euphrates to the sea, Eretz Yisrael belongs to me. I mean, not me, to the Jews. Bishma Rabbi Meir. Practice the Gemara. Bishma Rabbi Meir. It's understandable according to Rabbi Meir. Hainu dechtiv. It says when the Kadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Cain and gave him a shtickle musar about giving the wrong korban. Im teitiv says, if you do good, if you do tshuva, then says you will get a masa, you'll get presents, you'll get sachar from Hashem. You do tshuva, then you get the compensation from Hashem. Im lo teitiv, and if you do not mend your ways, lepetach chatas roivetz, then the Yetzer Hara will always lure you and will make you lose your part, and you will have poronus, you will have punishment. If you do good, things will be extra good for you. If you do bad, they'll be bad for you. Very good. Isn't it clear that if you do good, you get good, i.e., if you do bad, you'll get bad? According to Rabbi Meir, very good. The Torah is always being purposefully verbose. The Torah always wants to tell me that I always have to repeat. That's a derech Torah. Yes, very good, says Rabbi Meir. Ela Rabbi Chanina lamali. According to Rabbi Chanina, why? Clearly, if you do good, you'll get compensation. Obviously, if you behave badly, you'll get what? The bad part. Says Rabbi Chanina, why did they have to repeat? It's self-understood. And says Rabbi Chanina, no. Sal kadaita chamina. I would have thought as following: Im teitiv agra. If you're extra good, you'll get agra, sachar. You'll get compensation, reward. Im lo teitiv lo agra v'lo. And if you don't do anything extra good, you'll be parev. You'll not get reward and not din. You won't be harshly judged. You'll be middle, zero, balance. Kamash malan. Again, Rabbi Chanina gets out of the trouble the same way. There's always a third option, and that's how he views it. Rabbi Meir doesn't. Another question. Bishlam Rabbi Meir. Now, the following is from the story of Avraham Avinu telling Eliezer. I would have maybe read it inside also. We don't have much time. As we know, Avraham Avinu sent Eliezer to find a wife for Yitzchak Avinu. I'm sorry. For Yitzchak Avinu. And what was the condition? If you go to that family, my family of origin, and you find a wife over there, I make you swear that that's what you do. Automatically, we understand that if he doesn't do that, if he just goes, drinks coffee, and he doesn't go there, he finds a local girl from the Knaanim, which Avram said are accursed people. We know that today. Yeah. So then you get a curse, right? Now Eliezer asks, Rabbi, Avram Avinu, what happens if she doesn't want to follow me? Let's say if I do my best and the girl doesn't want to go with me. You can't force a girl to marry. Says Avram, if you go there, then you clean from my Allah. If you don't go, you purposefully disobey me, You don't even try. You go to the Knainim. What happens then? You get a curse. You get a klola, shvua. Yeah, but if you go there, even though if you don't manage, but if you try, you do go there, you don't get a klola. Yeah, you don't get the curse. Oh, again, why do you have to repeat twice? If I tell you, if you do so and so, I curse you. Mashma, if you don't do, I don't curse you. Same idea. According to Rabbi Meir, you go there, you try your best. The girl doesn't want to go. Okay, you're clean. You did your best. You tried. She refuses. She doesn't want to go. You're clean. Well, is it self-explanatory? Yes, that's all it is, says Rabbi Meir. I believe in halacha, you always have to repeat, and we don't assume anything. According to B'chinim Gamliel, if you say that yes, yes, automatically means a mirror image of no, the no. Why did the Torah, why did Avram have to repeat himself? Itzrich. Yes, you have to mention the other side. Why? I would have thought, let me explain. The story was as follows. Eliezer was concerned that the girl, he didn't know who, the girl out there who may be a good girl from Avram's family, maybe she won't want to go. Maybe the curse is upon me. It was saying, no, if she doesn't want to go, it's not your fault. Wait. What does it mean if she doesn't want to go and you have no choice? Meaning, how hard do you have to try to bring her in order to get the curse out of your mind? Yeah, we all know that. We all know that some people are very determined and driven to finish the mission and some are not, right? You tell a kid, if you do that, they give you 10 shekels. And if you try but not manage, whatever, I'll still give you 10, let's say. Yeah. Wait a second. What do you mean try? How hard does he have to try? For that, we do have to specify, even according to Bechanina. In other words, let's say nichal eledida. Let's say the girl wants to go and they don't want lo nichal eledidu. Let's say the family refuses. Maybe maisi bal kochai. Wow. Maybe I will grab her with her will against their will. And only if I do that, only if I do that, I'll be out of the curse. That is true. L'kula alma. Kamash malan, we don't have to do that. That's a chiddush. Yeah. Avram had to specify and tell him, if you don't go there b'chlal, you have a curse. If you go there and you say, please, yes, sir, you try to convince, she doesn't want, they don't want, you're okay. Pack up your bags, go, and you're okay. And you don't have to try too hard to force the family to take her. And already at that point, the cloth is off your head. That is true even according to B'chinim Gamliel. Weiter. Another question. Im lo toy v'aisha lamali. Why did Avram Eliezer, have to say, if the woman doesn't want to go, then what is going to happen? In other words, he was still concerned that if the girl doesn't want to go, he would still have the curse on his head. Why is that? Why do you have to mention that? According to, one second. I wonder if this question is again on who? On B'chinim ben Gamliel. Yes. Yeah, of course. According to Rabbi Meir, everything has to be specified. According to Rabbi Meir, even what would be logically understood always have to be specified. If you don't go, curse on your head. If you go and don't manage because the family doesn't want, you're okay. If you go and the girl doesn't want to go, you're also okay. You have to specify everything. But according to Bechanina, which believes the Torah has to be more miserly with the words, and I can just figure it out myself, we already know that if you don't go bichlal, curse. If you go and the family refuses, then you're okay. Why do you again have to mention another option? Im lo toy v'ha'isha, lamali. Why do you have to speak about another option of if the wife doesn't want? I know already automatically that if I try hard enough and I don't manage, the klal is off my head. And you, Rabbi Chanina, you believe in logic more than in being verbose. So why did the Torah have to mention again and again if the woman doesn't want, this doesn't want? Answers the Gemara, itzrich. Yes, you have to mention that option too. I would have thought, the opposite. Maybe the family wants and she doesn't want. Maybe Nesi Bal Kocha. Wow. Maybe you have to bring her against her will, and only then you'll be out of the curse, Kamash Malan, you don't have to take her against her will. The question is, I don't understand. You're not allowed to marry a woman against her will. How would that be a Havamina? What? Either before the Torah you could, or she is a youngster under 12. She doesn't. Very good, Alan. Yeah, she could do me an F. No, the father. The father is a right to Mekadish's girl. Very nice. Weiter. Oh, let's even finish the Amud. Try. 2 minutes. Another one. That's an easy one. According to Rabbi Meir, I understand what it says. The famous one. If you walk in the ways of Hashem, everything will be amazing. If you despise, if you reject my ways, things will be bad. I have to specify. If good, then good. If you behave bad, you'll get bad. Why do you have to mention yes, yes, and again, no, no? Isn't it self-explanatory? Yes, you do have to mention it. If you follow the ways of Hashem, you get a blessing. Also, if you reject the ways of Hashem, you don't get neither bracha nor klolo. You'll be a par of nothing, zero. The chiddush is that yes, if you behave, you get good compensation, reward. If you behave badly, terrible things will happen aleinu. Last but not least, very similar. The similar idea by Yeshayahu, the first parak of Yeshayahu. If you're willing to listen to the words of Hashem, then tov haaretz techelu, you'll eat the good part of the land. If you despise the ways of Hashem, no, if you reject the ways of Hashem, then things will be bad. Then you'll be eaten by the sword. Yeah, I understand. You need both sides. Hen separately. Lav. According to Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, why do you have to mention both? Same answer. Itzrich. I would have thought in toivu toivo. If you do well, you desire the ways of Hashem, then Hashem will only do good for you and reward and amazing things. If you refuse the ways of Hashem, okay, I'll be part with you. Nothing amazing will happen either way. Kamash Malan, yes, very good. That's where we'll finish. Tomorrow we'll see more about what's called Cherev Techlu. Bezras Hashem. Wow, Baruch Hashem. B'si'ata Dishmaya. Very good. More on the same tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening so nicely. I recommend you open the chart. Maybe I'll resend it today, the chart that I sent yesterday. Thank you to everybody on YouTube. Thank you to our viewers on Torah Anytime. Have a great day. Yeshua's v'nechomas to the whole of Klal Yisrael. Thank you.